What is up, beautiful people? This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Auto Skin Detail. Give them a follow on Instagram, like a couple pictures, show them some love. Let's go. I'm just happy to be here. What is up, beautiful people of the world? My name is Exact Change, and I'm happy to be here today with my guest, Jay-Z, a.k.a. government name Jacob Zinkgraf. Damn.
Oh, we got it right on the first try.
That's right. Dog. And of course, we got Matisse in the bill. Well, no, I guess not of course, because you haven't.
It's the triumphant return, bro.
Yeah, it's the triumphant return. And it's good to have you here, dude.
Thank you, man.
It feels like a whole new. It's like a whole new world now.
Yeah, man. I'm stoked.
I'm happy too. Jay-Z, dude, definitely. I wanted to get you on because for a couple reasons. One reason was I just think you have so much to share, and when I hear you talking about the things you're talking about, like with Terps and stuff like that, I feel like you never really have enough time to go through everything. Take your time to formulate what you're saying. You probably always feel rushed.
Because I'm still remembering the shit too, because I don't talk about it all the time. So when I'm going through with somebody, I remember something and I'm like, oh yeah, this and this and this and this.
And then there's this other reason. Another reason is because somebody actually said, oh, that guy Jay-Z, oh, that's one of the best episodes you've ever done. That episode's one of my favorites.
Oh, man.
And because someone said that, I said, okay, let's have him back on.
It's high praise.
And that's when I came to you and reached out to you and said, dude, you need to come back on. Yeah. So, yeah. And that's when we were figuring it out still. And
I know they went through even though that half the video was cut off and then we had to film half of it later.
Yeah.
They still stuck around.
Yeah, bro. That's a ride or die, man. The fans. You're a passionate man, Jay-Z. You got a lot of knowledge.
Thank you.
These people want it.
That's what's up. I'm here to spread the knowledge. That's why I came back up front, so I can teach all the new youngin' bud tenders how to do it, because it's not like I'm like, I know more than you. It's more just like I try to be an example for everybody to come up to me, because even Shay, she's like, let me talk to you, my cannabis connoisseur. Freaking, it's like.
And for context, you work at Cinder.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been there for
almost 2.5 years.
And like how, like, have you always been into terps and like stuff like that? Is that since you, like, did you used to grow weed before?
So I grew weed when I was still at my other job, which was a carpet cleaner for like 5 years. And that's probably like how I got more into chemistry, was learning about the chemicals in which you mix together to, clean the carpet, get the stain out. There's certain ones to get paint and oil. There's one to get like natural organics like yolk and blood and stuff like that. And use enzymes and use solvents and alkalines and acids, and you learn all the ratios, and then you kind of get that basis, and then your friend gets into the I-502 industry, becomes a badass, and then their medical supported Sativa Sisters is still medically supported. So if you need to get your medical license, you can.
Really?
You can go and get your picture and everything there. He can make you your card and everything. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's cool. That seems so like outmoded now, just because of how free everything's been.
Nobody does it anymore.
Yeah.
But they offer them medical prices. So those people can waive the limit, so they can have up to like 3 ounces and some other shit. They get big discount. Yeah. Like, yeah, when you're medically endorsed, yeah.
So someone that has like medical, what is it, a doctor's note or something like that?
Well, that card, when they bring it in and they have that little thing that says they're medical marijuana.
So they can go in there and get that made at Sativa Sisters, and then they can.
Well, they have to go get a doctor to be like, you need this.
Of course, yeah.
You get to come in and then you see it.
But they can go in there, get their card, and then buy 3 ounces of weed.
And
that's crazy,
yep.
man. That's tight.
Yep.
Well, because I think that there needs to be more help for people who need it for medicine, because
Yes.
sometimes like the people come in and talk to me and I'm selling recreational weed. That's what I'm selling. So somebody will come in like, I need my back pain. And I'm like, fuck, I wish I could help you. Like, I don't like, which one should I do? I'm like, this one's fun for me. You know, I don't know if that's,
it's a good time.
I don't know if that's what's going to work.
That's when you got to get creative with your words, because you can't give them your experiences either.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I used to try to use my climbing and stuff like that, but you can't even use your experiences. So you have to get something like you want an indica, because indica is going to give you much more body feels. It's gonna help the most with you can't even say help. It's going to be the most effective on the body feels.
And this is because we're not allowed to give medical advice when we're talking to customers.
No. And even if you, like Shaheen went through a medical course and actually has like a certificate that says he's certified to, he's really not allowed to tell you that you can get medical advice, but you know, he's allowed to, he has a lot of knowledge. But anyway, getting back to that story, he got certified, he started doing medical. He's like, Jake, look at this. Dude, did you know that this cannabinoid affects this, and this is why this happens? Mm-hmm. And these receptors are activated. These different terpenes are what actually makes the characteristics of the plant. So, like, after I started growing, and I grew Dutch Treat, Blue Dream, AC/DC, and I started noticing terps. I started noticing the characteristics of the plant, what it liked, what it didn't like. Got me, because I'm still a novice, you know, going in. There's people that do it all the time that are just, so I mean, no way am I an expert of growing, but I was a guy who grew weed, and I know a little bit about it. Like,
but it sounds like you really found a genuine appreciation for it and an interest, because you sound passionate about like when you're talking about.
And I don't want to undersell myself either, saying novice. I mean, I don't want to be like I can go and grow all these plants and I'll do all these farms. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm more saying just like I have an understanding of how it's grown, how it should be cured, how the flush should be. Because when I am growing a plant, I want to feed my plant not as little as possible, but the most effectively. Something that's all natural. Like we use Coco's A and B, and we use Cali Magic. They're just one of the mainstream things that you use it, but we'd also use stevia sugar. We read up
stevia?
Stevia sugar. Yes. So the plants actually freaking feed off these sugars.
That's fucking
and
crazy.
Since they're a natural sugar, it's not some synthetically made sugar. It's just a natural sugar. It goes in. When we mixed whatever, you know what I'm talking about. When mixed.
Were you smoking on that Sweet and Low?
That Sweet and Low.
That Equate?
Exactly. No, but you feed your plants every other day. And then once we got down to because Blue Dream probably take like 9 weeks to grow. And once we get down to that 3 weeks mark, we felt it was time to flush the plant because we didn't want to taste of nutrients or anything. So we flushed it. By the time we were pulling it out, some of the leaves, they start changing color and everything like that. And that's a sign that they're pulling all of the nutrients that they can out of those leaves, and they're trying to put it in the buds because the buds are what they want to keep alive. So that's the time you cut them down, and then you do a cold cure. So you have a room that's 60 degrees controlled, or 60 degrees Fahrenheit controlled, and 60% humidity. And you have that in the room, and you have green light in there, because if you go in your room why they're curing, you don't want any other kind of light, because you're going to get light damage. The plant will turn on because it's still staying alive while you got it hanging there. And that's the point of the cold cure, and you're just hanging the whole plant upside down, is because it's still got the leaves on there and everything. The plant is still going to try to stay alive, so it's going to suck everything out of the stems, everything that it can, to put it inside of the buds. And having that sugar leaf and everything is going to prevent. It's in my hypothesis. I don't know, and this is in no way anything. Can't say theory because I'm not credible. But anyway, I think it holds in more terps, and it prevents a lot of the evaporation of cannabinoids and terpenes. Could be bullshit, but I think so.
Do a lot of farms do that? I know La Ganja Fairy does that, right?
GLW.
Oh, GLW does that.
Have you been at the GLW?
I still haven't been
Fun
there
Club?
yet. No.
Yeah, man, I've been there like 4 times. That is the place to go. It was my first.
Humble brag.
It was my
Yeah.
first one to do. Fred is the man. Like, literally, GLW is slept on. I mean, everybody knows they grow the same good strains all the time, but he's always coming out with new shit. He's always forward thinking. Like when I-502 before COVID, he would support. He would sponsor a lot of freaking industry parties and different events, and he's the man. Like the way he talks, he's very humble, but he knows he's also his weed is the best.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, he's super awesome, and he cold cures. He makes his own teas, like beneficial food. Like he is turning his own stuff, so he doesn't. He's also making his own soil. So like he takes his own soil and recycles it and puts it back up, and now he's growing outdoor weed. Dude, the outdoor farms. You look at some of the plants that usually I'm trying to think of, like Black Jesus, dude. You go out there. It's usually got this nice green color, but the sun, it's this crimson red color. The buds, the leaves, and everything. And you're like, what is going on? It's just something about it being outside and it growing differently with the open air and everything like that.
Wow.
Plants survive, man. It's a weed for a reason. You can plant some stuff out in your yard, and if it starts growing and it thrives, that thing is huge. If
So
you
is
stop it?
So like when you know, because when I'm looking for some weed, like, you know, I want it to be like sticky and like, you know, is that a characteristic of the strain, or is that like a way it was grown like correctly, or
All of those, for sure. It's all the variables, man. All those variables can be taken into account of somebody who grows, the person who's taking the time. Like that's why Budweiser they're tier 1 and they're so meticulous. That's why their weed is always sticky and the best. It's because they don't have a huge grow, so they can spend closer time. Because like Fred's got a lot of people working for him, but he's got a lot of good people. So you go into he's got huge freaking rooms, man, where you're just like, holy shit, like 100 plants. You're like, what the fuck? You go up on this like ladder thing to see over it. So he's got this thing, and you walk up on a ladder so you can see over the top of the plants, because they're all on these like trays that can move, so you can make hallways. Because like if you don't have these trays, so you can get in between, because all those plants are like way in the back. And literally you hire some dude who just throws on his headphones and is just defoliating, making sure the plant is healthy and everything. Because that's another thing, is you got to defoliate plant weed. If you want it to look good, you got to cut the things. That's why I was telling you about your plant and stuff like that. You cut away the things you don't want that plant to grow, like little arms and stuff on the bottoms. Even if it's got some buds on it, dude, you're like, gone. Because I want it all to go up to those top buds. I want all that stuff to get all the stuff. So you'll see.
so the plant will stop putting energy towards those things and then start.
Focus. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's why when you'll see like plants that haven't been defoliated yet, and then you go into a room where it has been, and you'll see all the bottoms are mostly cleaned up, and you can see underneath of all the plants, but still at the top, it's all, what do you call, bountiful and plush and.
So is that like
bulbous?
Because they always say that it
Exactly.
gets like the top part of the nug is like the
Cola.
Is that like the best part?
Well, whatever's near the light the most is going to be, the most producing. It's going to have the most energy, because the plant grows. It grows up towards the light, and so a lot of people, what they do as well is they do a scrog, and so they'll have like, usually you do this for raspberries and other things, so they can grow up it and stuff like that, and then they can have more berries growing off the top. So with this idea is you turn it sideways, and you kind of bend the cola in a way, so instead of growing straight up, it grows sideways like this. So instead of having one cola, the idea is that you're going to have many colas growing up off this branch, because it's all going to grow up towards this light. They're all going to have more light. So you're cutting all off the bottom stuff so all the top stuff can get the best stuff. But
damn,
and that's why they have to grow so much, dude, because you're cutting off all that other stuff. And I would grow like 9 plants probably at a time. Like I would in flower. I'd have mom plants, and then I have my little hydroponic. It's not even hydroponics, because there's no pellets or anything. It's just water that's constantly shooting up at some. You cut off some a clone, because the mom, You always have it. It's 16 and 8. So 16 hours of daytime, 8 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And that's 24 hours. Or maybe it's 18 and 6. I think it's 18 and 6. I think I lied. I think it's 6 hours of light and 18 hours of light and 6 hours of sleep. Because if you have it 12 and 12, that's when the flower will kick on. But since you have it in daytime most of the time, it's stuck in flower. So, in veg is what it's called. So the plant's not producing anything but fan leaves and everything like that. And you can cut those off. And those can be expensive, like especially if you're a farm and you have like a badass like strains, like how you say like people get how they get different cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a mom and you going in and you're like, I'll give you, let's just pull the number, $200 for three clones of this plant. Hopefully that they don't become males and they take off. But anyway, we put them in this. We built it. We literally took frickin' a drill and made all these little holes, and you take little wedges that hold stems, and you put it in there. We took a hose, a little rubber hose, and we poke a bunch of little things in it that were spritzers, and then we hooked up a water pump to it, and
Bro, it sounds like this like child's toy I plug in for my daughter in the summertime. It like plugs into the hose. It's like sprays water everywhere, all kinds of ways and
exactly.
shit.
It's exactly
like,
right.
Sounds like a rudimentary.
And it just squirts up water everywhere.
That's so tight.
And then these things drink from that thing, and then they develop roots, man. And do they get long? And they're like spaghetti noodles and spider web looking things, dude.
That's crazy.
And one time because like right at the end, I kind of neglected, and we had to keep them in there because the roots got so and all engulfed in the water and everything like that. You'd have to like clean out the filter because like roots would get in there. And
Whoa.
And sorry.
No, you're good.
And
That's crazy, man.
so what we did is we kept sticks and we had to prop it all up. And we just put them in the flower room, put that whole thing, our cloner in the flower room. We just did a hydroponic run. My partner still says to this day that the hydroponic was the best we ever grown up. I'm like, I just enjoy soil more. It just has a much more holistic taste and aroma and feel to me. When you grow in hydro, the buds get huge, and I mean, like they blew up like balloons, man. We had to hang them up with wires. Like that's the other thing is you have to hang these things up because the buds get heavy. So like sometimes that thing starts growing really fast and the stems aren't thick enough to hold up the buds. And that might be because our negligence or not growing it long enough in veg and topping it because you want to top it. You got to train this weed and get it stronger before. And sometimes it got too big.
It's a happy
throw
accident.
It in. But we'd hang stuff from the ceilings and these long, you'd buy all this stuff at the grocery store. And you would tie them up and they'd just be hanging there. And without it, like they would flop down, but they're up there and they're growing. They're fucking huge.
What the hell?
And
So hydroponic just like...
well,
when I was
not
a
only the
kid-
hydro, but
Sounds like some GMO bud or something. It's
Even-
like extra big and shit.
well, I mean, it's not.
Fucking, that's that Mondo burger.
Mondo burger.
Yeah,
bro.
that's right. That's why I don't like it. Mondo burger, baby.
So, because when I was a kid, it felt like, all the rappers were rapping about hydro.
Yeah, that hydroponic
I got
chronic.
that. Maybe it just rhymed with chronic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's new, and it was new back then, and it's like,
But people were like convinced that it was like more exotic. It was
Yeah.
better.
Oh, this is that hydro, bro.
This is that hydro. bro.
See,
the
I wasn't
Indo.
even like hip
That's
to
the
it.
same with like Indo. Oh, this is
Yeah,
outdo.
Indo.
When I got to be that judge for that Cannabis Cup, mine aren't super long, but I'm critical because I've grown weed before, so I'm like, this doesn't taste like it's flushed or this. I'm speculating, so I'm just somebody this is what I'm getting, and I'm just throwing it
How
down.
was
That's
that?
good though.
But
That's
you
good
can't-
that you have the knowledge to give that feedback.
But you can't post my feedback on there because it's kind of.
What was it? Got to be positive feedback?
I mean,
You like posting bad reviews?
Well, what, dude? Like if I, it's
It's
not a
not-
real
it's not
review
bad.
if I feel pressured to give one response.
I mean, I imagine the real critique that this man gives, though, is kind of like, oh, yeah, you called me out on that shit. Like, I'm not going to,
I'm going to say it tastes like a burnt tire. I'm like, this tastes
I mean,
like a burnt tire.
Like a burnt
it made
tire,
me choke and cough.
I mean.
And I'm like, it might be the flush or the cure. I don't know, because
they need that consumer standpoint,
Yeah.
dude. They need that, to be like, oh, fuck.
But there's also people who are like, well, F that guy because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And that's like, and maybe so. I don't know what you guys are doing, and maybe something happened. But talking about like testing, like what when you take a bud in, so you can't even rely. When they say you can't rely on numbers, it's not only that it's the companies, but you can literally take a bud, rub it in distillate, and put it in keef and send it to them as long as it's at the dry mode and it meets all the requirements. You can have a keef distillate bud that you sent into the thing saying it's this strain, and they bring it back and it's like 38%.
Oh my God.
And that's how come people come in and shit like that. So and there's
no
regulations on
numbers.
There's
bullshit.
no regulations on
numbers lie.
So, because like what you were saying, there's the numbers thing in the sense of like, not the testing part, but like saying, oh, if it's 20% versus 22%, it's like, dude, it
doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't.
It could have been that specific bud that was sent in for testing.
Well, but I'm saying besides that, the testing part, even if you were talking true numbers, right? Like still you're
like the real feel.
You're still splitting hairs by saying, well, I don't want to get that because this is 2% more, and that's going to get me more high.
Well, let me tell you this. So let me ask you a question. So if the regulations and it starts getting more regulated on the testing and what you can do, and Budweiser comes back and they start having percentages like in the 18s and everything like that, do you think people are going to be like, oh, what's going on? What happened?
They are.
Budweiser.
They are.
Exactly. But, it's the same good weed. It's the same everything. I'm not saying that.
But the numbers are
Budweiser's
there.
Budweiser's doing that.
No, but the numbers are there and the customers are relying
because some of them do.
But the customers are relying on the numbers to be accurate. They're
Placebo.
They're assuming because why would this? They're assuming that I-502 is well put together and that these things are all checked and balanced and that everything's already taken care of. And when I come in and it says something, I can trust that, right? Just like when you go into the grocery store and you buy some food and it has ingredients in it or it says gluten-free or non-GMO, you're trusting that.
But even that shit you can't trust a lot of the time,
so that's the thing. So
like organic produce is a myth in a lot of the case.
So that's where you become this like borderline conspiracy theorist. Like, I don't know if I should, I don't even eat food anymore, bro.
But do you like just being able to say ignorance is bliss? And just saying, okay, I can rely on this number to tell me what's good, or do you want to do the deeper research on it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you got to put it on there, but it's like you said, you're trusting that the 502 industry is like fully legit and above board and blah blah blah. And it's like no offense to anybody at all. I smoke a copious amount of marijuana myself. An industry created for stoners by stoners is probably going to have some sloppy math. I'm just saying. There's probably someone's fudging the numbers somewhere along the line.
And everybody know that Green Bits is a stoner company made for stoners. So that stuff's always breaking down on us. So it's like, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And we still don't have another one.
So wasn't there a company that there was a company that got caught, right? Doing testing high numbers for people for certain farms and stuff like that. You know anything about that?
No, so it was the testing company.
Yeah.
So they were lying and they got caught. And
yeah, that's right. And there was like certain farms they favored. They would, give them high numbers if they gave them a little extra money.
And a lot of the companies that we carry were some of the people that use that, and it's like that says a lot of things. And it's like. It's the same thing, dude. The I-502 is so new still, even though it's been like around for 6 years. It's still so new, and there's so many people that like, I've got a lot of money. There's a lot of money in weed, but I don't know a lot about weed. So they go in and they start learning about other people, and they're buying stuff like CBD, hemp derived from somebody because it's unregulated, but they're like, we can take this and we can make this and we can make that out of this. And it's like, now you're synthesizing, and now you're not even extracting from the plant. You're literally taking some other compound and forcing it to be another cannabinoid. And the laws are changing right now, and soon it's going to be a lot of different, and you're going to see a lot of things change, I think. And in
Do you know, just a quick question, with the numbers specifically, is that a legal thing? Do they have to put numbers on there?
yes,
You have to have
you
those
have to
numbers
have a
on there.
THC number on there. So but you want it to be accurate, but you also want people to buy your shit. So
And there's no
you
doubt
have to
about it.
play-
100% sure people buy. A
Based
lot of
on that,
people buy
solely on
based
that.
on numbers. I mean, at least it's a deciding factor. If they're looking at two strains, one's 27, one's 21,
If
you're
that
like, well, I'm gonna
90
take 27.
Well, it's a psychological thing. It's like the same thing since the dawn of time with salesmen, why they sell you shit at fucking $99.99 instead of $100. It's a penny different, but if I'm getting it for $99, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it's a numbers thing. You see the higher number, and immediately you're like, that is better.
This is
because
a
that
low
number
number.
is a
Guys,
better number than the other
Can I
number.
tell you? So I was at work today, and House of Cultivar came out with some fancy exotic genetics specialty weed that's like 55 and 8th, right?
What?
So, and I'm like, of course I can't get, I can't not get it, right?
Yeah, you gotta
like
try
it's like,
it.
fuck, dude, I have to get it, right? And there
you're
was
not buying refined.
and there was one strain that was 20%, and then the other strain was 27%. And then even though I thought the 20% one looked better, I picked the one
You
with the
bought
higher
27
number.
Yo, you
So
did.
you are a man that
You
works
are-
inside the industry that preaches against this shit constantly. That's still
I was like,
a
that's
victim of your own folly.
7% difference.
It's a deciding factor.
So that's
for sure.
7. That's a big number.
That's a
Shit.
mental thing.
And what's
That's-
House of Cultivar going to do? They're going to be like, yo, we're going to get a low test on this one, but we're going to get a high test on this one. It's got to be real,
But think
right?
about it like this: what if we could change it? Probably. So if we took a blind test study and then we took, let's say, 4 people. We gave those 4 people THC weed and they smoked that, and then we gave the other people CBD weed and we had them smoke it, but we told them they're just all THC weed.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go back through and you placebo effect, some of those people are going to be like, yeah, dude, I was the highest
So
I've
high, bro.
ever been. And you
So
could have been one of
high.
them guys that smokes weed every day. And they're like, this is the new chronic. This is a higher THC potency
my
that we
God.
haven't had before. And we're going to give this to you. And we just want you to test it out. It's
some
almost
super
about
weed.
30%. This is some super duper weed because it's legal now. So we're able
Yo,
to do
Pepsi
some stuff
challenge,
that we
you
used to not.
motherfucker.
And they tell you this and you're like, yeah, all right. And you smoke this weed. And if you were you and you've smoked a lot of weed, you would probably notice. I'm guessing because you're a smart guy, you'd probably notice that it didn't get you as high because you probably pay attention to all the different kinds of
I
highs.
also do kind of feel high all the time, even when I'm not high.
But when you get different weeds, do you notice the different high? Like if you
Mm-hmm.
smoke Jack Hare right here with your homies, then your mind was just freaking.
So do you know what, like,
holy crap.
sativas make me fucking like space out. So like if I have a sativa, I'll catch myself like staring at a wall or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't like it sometimes because it just makes me just like dumb. And like an indica, I'll just be like relaxed, but I'm just like, what's
Well,
up?
how often do you
Floating.
how often do you smoke sativas? Like what was the last sativa you smoked?
Because
Because really,
Right
scientists.
outside.
yeah, well, I guess
Because really, it's supposed to be terpenes. Like, what are the terpenes?
so
that
the
you smoked
terpenes in the
last?
weed that we just smoked was that squirt.
Yeah.
So a lot of
What is it?
that
So
for
there's
sure.
there's
A lot of
inside of there.
citrus.
There's limonene. There's myrcene. There's pinene. There's what was the other strain? It was tangy and what?
a blueberry muffin.
Blueberry muffin. So there's linalool. There's osamine. There's,
there's
other
a-
stuff like that. There's-
It's Vaseline.
Vaseline, that's right. Well, most terpenes are like they can be beta and alpha. Usually beta is on the more sweet side. So you can have a beta myrcene, a beta binding, and that would be just indicating that is a much more sweeter version of that terpene. So it could be a pinene. It has like probably a bunch of different aromas that it could be, but like especially with terpinolene, because that's in like weird ass plants that you would never even think, like bushes and stuff like that. When you go and you smell like a bush and then it's just really strong, like in the summertime, and you're like, man, what the hell is that? It's terpinolene, man. I love that because Dutch
So is
treat.
it more? Oh, okay.
It's
Is
Dutch
it sweet?
treat. Every time you smell Dutch
love
treat,
Dutch
dude,
treat.
terpinolene.
So sweet.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. So it's a sweet one.
It's sweet. It can be sweet. It's mostly citrus, pine, sour, funk, man. Because it's
Oh,
putrid.
My
It's-
favorite.
it's-
Those are all my favorite terp
Yeah.
profile.
That's why I like, man. But I mean, I love Dutch treat, but I'd rather have garlic cookies, man. If somebody just like popped open some weed,
that garlic
and
is funky,
and it smells like a foot and an asshole, man. I'm just like, dude, let's smoke that.
Really?
Let's smoke the foot asshole weed, dude.
Over the sweet stuff.
Over that sweet situation. I mean, it's good. I love Dutch Street, you know, but shit, man, that stuff smells like it's gonna make me freaking go to the moon.
Okay.
Because
I got a question for you. I found, and this, you know, we'll dive in to extractions and fucking all that shit, right? But, like, do you think like if there's a higher higher terps, right, and a better flavor in like a cart or in like dabs or maybe even in flour, does that usually correlate with a lower THC percentage or like a lower, like sometimes I feel like they don't get me as high.
What,
like they're not as stony
or something?
Just like, if I get like a live resin that's super tasty, it won't be as stony. Is there a correlation or am I crazy?
No, because THC binds to your CB1 receptor, which is the one in your brain. The CB2 is found in your skin and your muscles. That's what gives you the body feels. Anytime you feel like, especially when you eat edibles, because I was just showing, I can't remember who it was, but they were asking about digestion and it turning into 11-hydroxy THC and how it goes through the body a lot slower, like because it takes so much longer for edibles to affect. Because you tend to get that body tingle sensation before you get that head tickle, and then you're just like, damn, bro. Exactly. Yeah. And the more that you eat, the more it's gonna freaking be debilitating. Unless you're like
more intense, right?
But if you have a high tolerance, because your body has this built up inside of you already, so it's going to take a lot more for you to actually feel that stupid effect. Like we played House of, what is that card game? Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
But we had like 3 different versions all up into one thing. So, and then you're supposed to play. Did you guys know that there's an invisible character that plays with you?
Yeah,
and
if you don't have enough people, or you can add the invisible person.
Every time there is a guy, and his name is Random Cartesian. And
I read the rules. You can play by those rules with the invisible person. Yeah, and he's not just.
He can win, and he can win. He can. Yeah. So every time that you play, you pull a card and you put it in the middle. Because there's a black card.
just played. I didn't play with no rando Cartesian.
So you pull an extra card for that person every time, and the random card that you pull might be funnier than anything anyone put together.
And then you pick that one, and then everybody's like, "Oh, who's that one?" And then
it's the wild card, bro.
And then it goes to
chaos.
And nobody wins. Charlie Day. He wins. Nobody. And then you guys are losers because some random dude beat you.
Came up with funnier shit based off random cards than you could come up with your brain.
Oh, that's genius.
Because I mean, you don't want to play that game with less than 4 people. Like,
we just ran it, I think, with like 5 people, and it was great.
That's perfect.
So fun.
And when you get, because they have different ones. Like they have a period edition, man, where it literally comes in a tampon box, and like you open up a pad, and all the cards are up in the pad and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gnarly, man. It's gnarly.
That's crazy, bro.
But we also played Bones the other night. But anyway, what I was saying is, I got so high. I haven't been that high in forever. They're just like joint after joint, and I'd be reading my cards and trying to pick out for the thing, and I would laugh while I was sitting there reading my own cards, and everybody was just like, Jake's obviously got something, because I just cracked myself
poker
up, man.
face.
And it's just because I was probably really high.
It's tough when you're high, when they're reading them off and shit, and like you're kind of like trying not to giggle at your own shit,
because it's like
you don't want to give yourself away. My tell is so bad.
I always make sure I laugh at everybody else's
Dude,
shit.
I have no poker face.
And whenever I'm playing Cards Against Humanity, and I'll give this out, and this is a hack, okay? It was when somebody else's card, when they read it, you laugh really hard at that card.
Yeah.
So then they think that that's your card. So then they try to pick a different card and then end up picking your card on accident. And then you get to throw it in their face.
So Shaheen's mom, Yaz's mom, she plays different. She like goes in and tries to push her card in your head. So like she got a good poker face too, because she's like, this one's really funny, huh? And it's all her card. And then sometimes they go like, yeah, that is funny. And then she's like, and you're just like, dude, what the fuck?
So she's just planting seeds and shit.
She's so good at that game.
The psych out and shit. That's always been the hardest part, is because like I have a pretty broad sense of humor. Like there's even a lot of shit like comedy specials and like movies and stuff that I've watched, and I'm like, oh, it's so funny, and you're like, yeah, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen, bro. I turned it off after 10 minutes. Like, there's a lot of shit where I've been like, yo, you got to check this out. And you're like, yeah, not funny, not for me. So I have kind of a broad sense of humor. When I play Cards Against Humanity, it's always tough because I'm like, oh, this is the funniest shit to me because I know this reference or I know whatever I'm trying to get at. And then the person's like, yeah, I don't get that at all.
No, you have to play off of their humor.
Yeah, you have to kind of know that person's humor and be like, okay, they're going to fucking bust up at this shit.
And that sounds like you when I was the Eric Andre stand-up, and I was like, this is so funny.
I love Eric Andre too,
like,
man. The Eric Andre show, I love.
That guy
love.
is nuts.
Bro, his stand-up was funny. I thought it was hilarious, but Mike is a fan, and he didn't like it.
When he was on
some of it was
Tiger
good.
Belly.
The yelling, I didn't really like. He would just go into yelling a lot of the time. And the problem is, like, a lot of this stuff I can't watch during the day because I got my 6-year-old there, so I can't be watching some dude yell about masturbation and shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm watching it at nighttime with my wife. And
he was screaming.
If my wife is like, okay, this man is just screaming at me with his shirt off, can we watch like something else, please?
Right.
You know, like last night I tried to turn on the fucking Mortal Kombat trailer so I can watch it on my good TV.
How is that?
Oh, so fucking good. I'm stoked.
I wish we could play it on the TV right now.
Mortal Kombat's gonna be fucking awesome. So I'm watching the trailer again because I watched it on my little phone.
Christopher Lambert in it?
Nobody that you know is in it. Which is amazing because then you can focus on the characters and you want to be like, oh, Nicolas Cage is Raiden. That's fucking Nicolas Cage.
Is it really?
No.
Oh.
No, there's no one you know. That's what I'm saying, bro.
I would actually love that, though.
Yo, if they tried to be like fucking, you know, this famous actor is this person, it would distract me. But, so in the trailer, Sub-Zero's fighting Scorpion. And he cuts him, and his blood sprays out. And then Sub-Zero freezes his blood and stabs Scorpion with his own blood that formed into a knife.
That's sick.
And
that's some
I'm
video
like,
game
that
shit.
is the fucking shit, dude. I'm so stoked to see that on TV. So that happens in the trailer when I'm watching it on my good TV with my wife. And I look over at her. I'm like, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing right now? This looks fucking amazing. And it's my wife. She doesn't care about Mortal Kombat and violence and gore. She's like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. This looks so stupid. And I said, she literally said after it was over, she goes, this is so stupid. I go, babe, he literally froze that man's blood and stabbed him with his own blood. What is fucking with that? And she looked at me, and you know what she did?
What?
She made a jerk-off motion. Oh. She looked at me and made a jerk-off motion. I said, guess what? He would freeze that cum and stab you with a cum dagger.
That's like back.
Let's see if we can get it.
And she didn't say shit after that, bro.
7 right there.
She didn't say shit after that. Fatality on the
She
wife,
said,
bro. Yeah. Sub-Zero about to freeze your load and stab you with that shit.
Bro, that's fucking
You know how
terrifying.
many times I've seen Mortal Kombat? I could probably recite a lot of that shit. Even Mortal Kombat Annihilation is,
the second
is
one.
a classic. Classic.
Yeah, I mean they were both trash, but I mean just
Oh,
for
the old
sake,
ones?
yeah,
Yeah, for
but just for
nostalgia
the sake of
purposes.
nostalgia purposes,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were good, but they were
This
trash.
new one looks fucking...
Here we
But you know,
go,
the Power
baby.
Rangers had nobody that we knew besides Bryan Cranston.
Oh, they really
Did you know
tried
that
again.
Bryan Cranston
Is-
actually did voices in the original
Yeah.
show for monsters
For
and
Power
stuff like
Rangers?
that?
Yeah.
That's why he was picked for Zordon for the movie.
Because he did, like, when the monsters would grow up and, like, destroy the city and shit, like on some
He would do
kaiju
the
shit.
voice.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston would do voices for that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's how he got to start, Power Ranger
The
voices.
dude who was on Breaking Bad used
Yeah,
to do
so they
voices
picked
for
him.
'Cause
Power
I knew he
Rangers.
was in Malcolm in the Middle.
He's
That's where
always
I
going to be
first.
Malcolm in the middle to me.
Exactly.
That
That's
was
what
when
he's
I
most known for.
That's when I first
Yeah,
saw him,
yeah.
and then Breaking. Dude, somebody said Ozark is better than Breaking Bad. And
Nobody
that
would
really
say that. It's good. It's a worthy successor to Breaking Bad if you're looking for a Breaking Bad-esque show now that Breaking Bad's no longer on the air.
Okay, let's watch this.
Dude.
Nice.
You fucking beauty.
Yeah, fuck. Dude, that was pretty good.
April 16th.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good, dude.
That's
That
the
gave me
best Mortal
goosebumps.
Kombat
Actually,
movie we've ever seen in our whole lives, and we
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet.
yeah, that was pretty fucking bad.
You know what's funny is that this came out and because I got Google TV and so I've got like a HUD and it just was like, hey, you'll like this, you'll like this, you'll like this,
yeah.
and Mortal Kombat is popped right there.
Really? So you've been waiting. You were gonna watch it anyway. You were just waiting.
Well, Jack is actually she watches a lot of cool shit. She's actually like very interested. Like she loves Star Trek. Like she knows. What was it? We were watching. She never seen Zodiac. You remember Zodiac?
Yeah.
Oh,
Movie?
yeah. Ted Cruz.
Yeah, and Ted Cruz.
Sorry.
But that movie's crazy with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that
and
movie
it's got
is-
Robert Downey
that's a great
Jr.
movie.
It was a really good movie. It's a long movie. So she never seen it. She never heard about the Zodiac killings. She's all looking this up. The Zodiac killer, like the real cases and stuff. While we're sitting there, and she starts going, oh, wow, they actually did pretty good. Got pretty close to the actual murder here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, so this, and he did this and this. And I'm just like, you are the baddest chick ever. Freaking just looking up the murders right now.
My wife's always hit me with that shit too, bro. Like I'll watch a movie or some shit and she'll be like, oh, they based that on this. These are the fucking blah, blah, blah murders from fucking. I'm like, how do you? She's like, a true crime podcast. I just listen to true crime podcasts all day. I'm like, you like singing in the kitchen doing dishes. You singing fucking never gonna give you and like doing dishes and like dancing like you happy. And in the ear is just fucking, he murdered his whole family and left their body in pieces. Oh, her nose was made into a fridge magnet.
Dude, that's fucking brutal, man. I think that when I see a good documentary, I really, if I'm watching something that's really captivating, I'll grab my phone and like I'll pause it and I'll start like, you know, not if it's like a spoiler type kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin it before it gets to the end.
But if it's something like certain stuff is just interesting to where you'll want to start catching up. I'm trying to think of like a good example, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I've watched recently.
My thing is I just always want to learn more about it because a lot of documentaries and stuff like that are one-sided, you know? So you kind of want to learn like what's the whole story, what's the other side of things.
Watch
like
space documentaries, dude. Like,
what have you seen that's good?
Dude, I watch The Planets. It's Learning the Planets. It's got the dude who plays Harry. So if you watch Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter goes in to buy his wand, and it's that old British guy, and he's got that really crackly voice, and he's Mr. Potter, I remember when your wands or your parents were first buying their wands in my shop, and he's the one who's narrating it all the time, and I love that guy's voice. So it's just nostalgia for me. He's talking about Jupiter and Venus, and
dope.
That's what's up.
How our planets, why we're even alive, why, because constantly there's asteroids, like, because our galaxy is constant motion. So not are we going around the star, our star is moving through the universe right now. All galaxies are freaking, and our star is on like some dance with another star, and we'll eventually, like, our stars will collide with another star. And people in this other documentary, they talk about like where we'll live in, let's say, hundreds of years later. Like, we'll live on like moons of Jupiter and Saturn and stuff like that, because those are like ice planets or ice moons, and they're bigger than our planet. But as soon as that water melts and it becomes oceans and stuff like that, and that's how life is created, and then it will have oxygen and it'll make an atmosphere most likely. And this is all theory, but in hundreds of years from now, maybe thousands, our Earth will be so close to the sun, Mercury will be enveloped, Venus will be enveloped, so they'll be gone. Earth will be, they say that the sun will stop growing right short of Earth, where Earth will just be a burnt, desolate wasteland.
Be charred, bro.
Yep. And then
hug your loved ones is what he's trying to say.
Thousands of years.
Mars will be a stepstone, man. We'll live on Mars just for like.
NASA just got to Mars like today or yesterday,
the other day. They had a rover.
That's right.
Wasn't I telling you about that?
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I was telling you about that. Yeah, they landed something on. And it's a new exploration of, they said Martian life is what they said. Like,
they found water on Mars and shit, so it's like it's not far fetched.
It's not far fetched. Well, it's
so
it's
Mars
super
is right
cold
after
there.
us. So there's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars,
and then
right?
Jupiter.
Okay.
So it's Mercury.
I'm trying
Venus.
to remember the intro to Sailor Moon right now. That's what it's.
Good job. Dude, good job. You know what?
Look, there's Earth, Mercury. There's Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah. I love Tuxedo Mask. Dude, I always wanted to be Tuxedo Mask.
I got Tuxedo Mask button on my lanyard.
Yeah.
I got it from a customer because I
Really?
had like a Dragon Ball Z.
So you like anime?
On.
Fuck it. Here you
I
go.
love anime, dude. So you just ran through the thing, and they have Sailor Moon on Hulu, and I was trying to get to watch Jack watch it. Yeah,
they have the original one too that still has like the lesbian lover shit in it. There was
Tuxedo Mask.
Two of the sailors were lesbians. They were in love. But when they converted it to the American version, they were like, "Oh, we can't have none of that gay shit." So they made them sisters. And so anytime they have like,
well, that's not weird.
Yeah, anytime they have weird moments like that in the American version, you're like, "Oh, this is like some incest
sisterly
shit,
love,
bro."
Yeah.
Dude,
Well, you should've just left him gay.
When I was a kid, I used to wake up in the morning and I would turn on fucking Sailor Moon was just
Yu-Gi-Oh.
on.
Yeah.
It was just on. Because Yu-Gi-Oh, I think, was like a little bit.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh!
You didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
So
I
I'm
love
30.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm 34.
I'm 31.
Okay.
I'm 32, so I'm
So
right
like,
there.
why-
Yeah,
I-
Yu-Gi-Oh, bro.
I watched
You got no excuse
Pokemon.
right now.
I watched.
I
I
played
didn't watch.
Pot of Greed.
I didn't
You
watch
watched
Digi.
Pokemon? Pokemon was before Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, Digimon's dope.
I didn't watch Digimon.
You
I watched
watched Digimon?
Beast Wars. I don't
Beast
know
Wars
if you
was
guys.
good?
Beast Wars is
Bro,
good.
you guys know about Beast Wars?
I know about
Dog.
Beast Wars.
What about
bro.
Beetleborgs? You know about Beetleborgs?
Beetleborgs and VR troopers?
We are Beetleborgs.
Do you know
No.
anything about VR troopers?
I know the VR
Yeah,
troopers.
all that
That's
knockoff
it.
Power
That's the
Rangers.
knockoff Power
They're like
Rangers.
knockoff Power Rangers and
Yeah.
shit. I got a VR Troopers lunchbox at the house. Bro.
VR Troopers. I think I
Yeah.
do remember that. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
it's
Starship Troopers.
They look like
Dude,
Daft
if
Punk.
you ever want to like just be like, I want to watch something crazy. Like, I want to watch Power Rangers because you know the whole Saban who bought Power Rangers
Yeah.
from Japan, bought the rights. So he took all of their episodes and he spliced them
Yep.
with. So every time their Power
Super
Rangers in
Sentai?
the beginning, Super Sentai,
Yeah.
my man.
Yeah.
Super Sentai. So they are a band of teenage warriors that find this guy, and he's some ancient being, but he's like, you're gonna have the powers of all of the dinosaurs.
Dude, it's
and they go to this
super
special
Japanese,
planet.
man.
Oh man, and they fucking you remember Rita, or is it Rita?
Rita Repulsa? Yeah.
Not Rita Repulsa. Is it Rita Repulsa?
The make
main-
my
the
monster
main-
grow. The
That's
girl
Rita?
with the fucking horns. And
Yes,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's Repulsa, bro.
Rita Repulsa, she actually like eats little kids, and so does her
Yeah,
like
bro.
minions.
The original
They
Japanese shit is crazy.
And this is Power Rangers.
Bro,
Yes.
the dude bought the
Saban.
rights to this Super Sentai show from Japan. Yeah, the Saban guy, the Haim Saban.
And when was this? This was
Hey,
like
so
when?
this- Saban.
Yeah, so
Yes.
this is back in like the 90s or whatever.
90s.
So he bought all this
When I
footage
was,
of
like, in
Super
kindergarten,
Sentai,
dude.
and then they shot basically half a show. They hired these American teenagers to shoot footage of them like at high schools and like fighting bullies and like doing the high school stuff and at the mall and shit. And then they just intercut the footage from the Japanese show because they're all in helmets and their outfits, so the American actors can just overdub whatever.
And like how he was saying with the American.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, for years, bro. Even still, the new Power Rangers that are still coming out now pull footage from Super Sentai and these other Japanese shows that are
Because they still make
And these
it.
are old shows.
Yeah, dude. It's been, dude. Japan has
giant monsters attacking the city, bro. It's Godzilla.
School, old
It's-
school.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I think about the old images and stuff, too, or the old video, you know,
Well, you know, the Yellow Ranger was actually a guy in Super Sentai.
yeah.
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 yeah, good move, America. Good
Yeah.
move.
Hey.
You know,
They thought yellow was a girl color. Yeah.
I'm just
There
glad
was only one girl Ranger on, or one girl Super Sentai. She was a
they
big
didn't make her
class.
Asian, did they? Did they?
The Yellow Ranger?
Yeah.
Trini,
Yellow Ranger was
she's
Asian.
definitely Asian, bro.
Trini is
definitely.
Asian.
And Black Ranger, Zach.
And that's why she didn't want to come back
God,
to the
come on,
show
bro.
either.
Damn.
But actually, Trini died too when into
Yeah,
one of
I
the
heard
seasons.
about that,
She
yeah.
died in a car accident, and that's why she,
that was the Yellow Ranger.
Yep.
they got a new Yellow Ranger who was Aisha, and
Aisha,
then
yeah.
Adam, who was the Black Ranger, because he took over for Zach because Zach wanted more money, and so did John.
Because that dude Zach
John
was like,
St. Austin.
he went off and did
Austin
some
St.
shit,
John.
didn't he?
Yeah, Austin St. John, Jason.
Is
yeah.
his name? Yep, Jason. But he came back later. But they wanted more money. That's why they changed up the Power Rangers. So Saban was like,
You know, the
get new Power
cheesiest
Rangers.
Dude,
dude
thanks
was.
for inviting me to the Power Rangers episode. I'm fucking stoked.
Dude,
right
it
now.
was,
I was just playing with my fucking Megazord with my daughter yesterday,
that's
bro.
awesome.
Bro,
'Cause
the
I
fucking
love Power
White
Rangers so
Ranger
much.
was the shit.
Yeah,
bro.
Tommy?
Yeah,
The Green Ranger,
The Green
White
Ranger.
Ranger thing.
Did you know right now
Bro.
he's the White and the Green Ranger mixed together?
Lord Draken,
Lord
bro, in the
Draken.
in the comics, dude. The new Power Ranger comics are fucking
JDF
nuts,
is
bro.
still the fucking man, and he's an MMA motherfucker.
Yeah.
He will beat your ass in real life. And CM Punk, who was a wrestler, he went to UFC for a little bit.
yeah.
Called out JDF and all this stuff like that.
Oh shit.
And JDF was like, dude, I'll pay for the setup. I don't even need any money. Well, let's get on this fight, dude. I will call you out right now. Jason David Frank is the shit.
Yeah, Jason
the
David Frank.
shit.
This dude,
Good
you guys
voice
are
actors.
fucking know about this power. I was in Power Rangers for a minute,
I'm
but
telling
damn.
you, man. Power Rangers was deep when I was a kid. One of my first crushes, Pink Ranger, Kimberly, man.
Kimberly,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, she was like
she
the
does
shit
songs
to me.
on YouTube. I don't know
But
if
now,
she still does.
as a grown ass man, bro, I read the Power Rangers comic book line with Lord Draken and shit like that. Like, fucking, it's crazy how deep
So,
the shit
okay.
gets, bro.
I want to rate your favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. Just five. Just 1 to 5. That's it.
5, he said.
the one, I mean,
I'm gonna have you go first,
I've
Jay-Z.
watched Kill Bill hundreds of times. So I mean, You could probably say that one is first. Pulp Fiction, second. I haven't even seen The Hateful Eight or.
You haven't seen Hateful Eight?
Is so good.
It's really slow.
It's
Bastards.
a lot of conversation.
You got to stay in it.
Yeah.
What other movies?
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. That one is good. That's probably number 3 because it's got a Miss Pink. It's got a Steve Buscemi is my man.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
Buscemi's.
so good. Let's see. He did Django. He did.
I never watched Django either.
What? You haven't seen Django Unchained?
See what I'm saying is
Leave. Go now.
I don't watch
it.
a lot of new
pause
stuff.
this.
People were like,
bro.
I haven't seen The Walking Dead. I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Well, no one cares.
Okay,
about
nobody
Walking
cares
Dead.
about any of that
Walking Dead
shit.
is
But I'm
But
just saying,
Django is
Game
a
of
big
Thrones-
deal.
So I'll watch
Watch
that
the
one.
ending.
You should.
Because I
Watch Django
Have you seen
Unchained,
Revenant?
bro.
that's Quentin Tarantino.
No,
No,
sorry, I'm
no,
getting
no,
off
no.
it.
I was
but-
gonna say what?
okay,
He's
sorry.
like, I'm just thinking of movies. now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna jump out.
No, Django is probably my favorite Tarantino movie. Honestly, it's just the one that sparked the most emotion in me. That's probably at the top for me.
What other Tarantino movies are there right now?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, love that movie.
I love that movie, bro. Slow
like that
burn,
one.
but I
is that
love
like
it, bro.
Yeah, the theaters.
Vince Vaughn or
No, it's Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. It's the newer one.
okay? So I haven't seen that one yet.
What,
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
bro?
Watch that.
I would say you
I mean-
gotta get out more, but you gotta stay in more.
Well-
Watch these fucking movies, bro.
Well, you got.
Mans hasn't seen
in
one
quarantine.
I like watching.
Yeah, if you haven't seen shit in quarantine,
I
you're
have
doing
specific tastes.
Well, you got Kill Bill 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? And they're
it wrong. The Hitari Hanzo
they're both
sword.
so
well, which
good.
one do you like?
Oren Ishii.
I do like the first one a lot, but I like the second one.
I like
think
this.
a little
I
bit
love
more.
it. Isn't the second one where she fights the chick? What's her name?
Oren Ishii.
That's
Is that the
Lucy
one?
Liu. That's the first one.
No,
Okay.
the other chick.
Okay.
The chick from fucking Independence Day.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
The
you
stripper,
talking
Will
about the-
Smith's girl.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But
Are
I
you
don't
talking
remember her
about?
name in the
She's
movie.
also the wife in.
How do we
Old
not know her
People.
name? We know her name. Her name is.
You're talking about the blonde haired
Sigourney
girl.
Weaver. No, she's no.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
No. She's
Which girl?
So-
Is
yeah,
she?
she's the stripper. She's Will Smith's stripper girlfriend in Independence Day.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
No.
Oh, shit.
That's his wife.
Willow. Jaden.
No, so I'm trying to think of here. She fights Lucy Liu in the first one. She fights the blonde gal that also was tested that is dating Bill.
I don't know why. I'm gonna just kill myself when I see this
She
name.
fights
It's
a hot-
Vivica A. Fox.
Let me see this person.
Is she not in? Is she not in
Who's the
Kill Bill?
person?
You say Vivica A. Fox, I think 50 Cent.
That's the first one.
Oh, that's the first one.
She's the first person that she kills.
Okay,
But
I
actually, she's-
love that scene. Dude.
Actually, she's like one of the last people she kills because she kills Oren Ishii because in true Tarantino fashion, he shows you the future and then goes back
it's
to
all
the
out of
past.
order.
Why is that such fun to watch?
It's fun when you do it right and it's not confusing.
I'm
It's
trying to
fun
think
when the
of one
audience
that's
can have this aha moment and be like, oh, that
Okay.
shit was from the future.
It
It's
comes
like Fight
together.
Club,
man.
Yeah.
It's like talking about that.
Okay, I'm gonna throw mine out there real quick for you guys, so we
Oh,
don't
yeah,
get
there you
lost in the sauce. Okay, so we got True Romance. I think that's the best. It's my favorite
Did
Quentin
Tarantino
Tarantino.
direct that? Is that a Tarantino original?
I'm pretty sure he either wrote. I think he might have wrote it.
I mean, if he wrote it, I'll count it.
So let's go. True Romance.
That sounds dirty. Dude.
Yeah, so
Like an
screen.
Audi,
Yeah,
that's
directed by
freaking-
Tony Scott, screenplay by Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery.
So not directed by Tarantino.
I don't
Right.
even know that movie.
But he wrote it. It's
You've never
it's
seen True
it's
Romance?
amazing, dude. It's
True
got
Romance is really good.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
Christian Slater.
Richard Slater. He's
And
my
then-
boy. Have you seen Heathers?
Heathers is great.
Dude, with
Heather.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
She's in this group with these girls, and they're all called Heather. And then she meets Christian Slater, and she's like, "Let's kill him. Let's just fucking
let's
kill him."
Kill him, bro.
What?
Yes, it's dude. It's
Okay.
It's a good
Okay.
movie.
So I'm going.
Heathers, bro.
So I'm going True Romance, and then I'm going Kill Bill 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna go probably. Yeah, then I'll go Django because Django's just fucking so
Django's
good,
undeniable,
dude.
bro.
And then I'm gonna go.
You say Pulp? Like,
Oh,
Pulp not even gonna be on your five?
Yeah, sorry. It's gonna be True Romance, and then it's gonna be Kill Bill 1 and 2, and then it'll be Django.
And Pulp.
And that's 5,
And
right?
Pulp.
Did I
You
say
gonna
Pulp?
throw Pulp in there?
Yeah,
No,
'Cause
so
you went
True
back.
Romance, then Pulp,
Okay.
then Kill Bill 1 and 2,
Because I thought
and
you said
then
Pulp Fiction was like your favorite
And
one.
then Django.
and Django.
Yeah.
Django.
And then
Django's my one.
and then
bro.
Reservoir Dogs are all in there.
Yeah.
But I think that movies affect you a certain way. It's not just an unbiased like what's the best movie. It's just like which one makes you feel the best. Which one's
It's
your
like Jurassic
favorite?
Park. Which one do you pick? 1, 2,
Not
or 3?
three.
Not 3?
Not three.
Really?
Probably.
Why not 3?
Well, okay. Obviously, see the obvious
Not a
answer.
Sam Neill fan.
The obvious answer is the first
like
one's the
Sam Neill?
best.
Nah, Sam Neill's
Dude,
amazing,
Sam.
bro.
Yeah,
The
Sam
first
Neill's
one
man.
is the best. The second one's the second best, and the third one's the third best. They
third
did
best.
it perfect. Like, and
Yeah.
they did it exactly like.
What's Homeboy's name in the first
Well,
one?
we're
I
not
was
even
he's
talking
like
about World. We're not even talking about Chris Pratt.
No.
Fuck Chris Pratt, dude.
I will
The
watch.
first one was okay. Bro.
Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxies. Chris Pratt needs to stay as Star Killer because
Yeah, he's great.
Star Lord.
Yeah.
I always think of Star Wars
Yeah,
every
Star
time
Wars.
because Jack
Star
showed me
Killer. Yeah.
those movies too, and I'm always like Star Killer, Star Lord.
Star Lord. Yeah.
That's Star Lord.
Or he was in. No, it wasn't Community.
No, Parks and Rec.
Parks
Parks and
and Rec.
Recreation.
He was
Super
so
good.
funny.
Man,
Leslie Knope.
Yes.
That's
Amy
Amy Palmer. Yeah.
Oh
Amy Poehler
yeah,
from
I
Parks and
love
Rec.
her
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
She's funny as shit.
But bro, Aziz Ansari, Chris Pratt, fucking Nick Offerman, bro. Ron Swanson.
Yeah, he's
one of
the
the
best.
greatest
The
TV
best.
characters
He
of
is
all
the
time,
best.
bro.
Ron
One of the
Swanson
greatest
only
TV
eats
characters
steak.
of all
But
time.
I think that
And
it's
doesn't
probably.
trust the government.
I think it's like
Works for the
He
government.
works
Doesn't
for the
trust
government, so he can fuck over the government. Is why he works.
I still
for the
think that statistically, The Office is a better show, but
I mean, it's a more
Parks and Rec
beloved show.
is Parks and Rec more original.
Excuse me.
I mean, it depends. They're all kind of set up to be the same type of show.
But I mean, like The Office
They're
was
the same
already a
format,
show,
sure.
and
Kind
then
of a
just
thing.
brought it from the UK to here and made it
Yeah.
a new show.
Yeah, but then it became this thing of like, okay, well now we can do one in a government building, so Parks and Rec. Oh, well now we can do one in a police station, so Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, well now like it's these type of like interview camera type shows. I was reading this thing.
Damn, good
just
point.
Yeah, they were interviewing the creators of The Office, and they were like, they explained because Michael Scott's behavior is cringy as fuck at times. It's like, he says stuff that's like borderline racist or like full on racist.
It's literally like shit you've thought before of saying to somebody, and he's just saying it,
He's
and you're
so
like, whoa.
bumbling and fumbling, and he's trying his hardest, and he's very, very earnest about it. But the way they explained it is Michael Scott is a character that knows that this documentary crew is there filming, and he wants to ham it up and do a good job because he might get a call from someone like Jennifer Aniston. That's how they explained his whole character, and I was like, oh, everything he does makes so much sense.
Seriously.
Like, based off that, him just trying to fucking go in on the acting thing so that he can, like, parlay it into some
Bigger thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He's always has some ulterior motive.
That's, bro.
Well, dude, this is actually this is perfect. This is
Yeah.
actually a perfect segue
Yeah.
right here. It's my boy right here that just
up?
dropped the new single
What's up, man?
today. Well,
Hey.
and if you're listening to this, it'll probably
Probably like a month ago or
yeah,
something. I don't know, whatever.
but you can go
The
find
guy
it
who
on
edits it
Spotify.
takes a long time.
That's you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, shit.
You doing
So-
all the work, bro.
I know. Well, I do some of the work.
So, tell me about it. Tell me about the single. Tell me about the when you wrote it and the leading up to. It
I'm
coming out.
reminded of a time back in the winter of 2019. A long time ago, bro.
It doesn't seem that
ages
long ago.
Bro, it seems like ages ago. This COVID shit has been a decade.
don't know.
Are you kidding me?
I just when you say 2019, I'm like, oh yeah, that just happened.
It was
That
like yesterday,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
No, it wasn't, bro.
That was a
we were
while
fucking
ago.
knee-high to a grasshopper back then.
Yeah, you're right. We were just ignorant.
Yeah, we didn't know
We
shit.
didn't know what was happening.
So, excuse me. You and me were doing some rap shit. We dropped a few albums. We've been successful. We've cemented ourselves as legends in the local community.
That's
Not
right.
to toot our own horn, but
That's
you
right.
know. So we was doing our thing, and show opportunities were coming up, and it's getting close to the end of the year. I know we had a couple gigs. We did that there was that Bartlett farewell.
Yep.
And then there was the Halloween thing with Bendy and them and Brother Nature and shit at the Big Dipper. And then Kingston from Kung Fu Vinyl hit me up and said, hey, we got this opportunity to gig in Seattle with Martial Law Band and like a bunch of these other, heavy hitters from over on that side of the state. And, we want you and Zach to come out. And so I hit you up about it. And it looked like, based on schedules and shit like that, you had just started your day job and they weren't being real flexible with time and shit, so you weren't going to be able to make it. And so I was kind of warring with myself like, well, fuck, okay, so everything I've done since 2012 basically has been in a group. Like it's all our shit. So how do I go and do a set, you know, without you? Am I just going to rap a bunch of your verses and do that shit, or what am I going to do? So I'm trying to come up with ways to like make it work out. And finally Kingston was like, I need an answer. Are you going to be there or not? Like, are you coming? I was like, fuck it. Yeah, put me on the bill, bro. I'll be there. And so I had like 3 or 4 days or something like that until it was time to leave. And I'm putting my set together and I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to do a 20-minute set, but I got like 15 minutes. I'm like pulling old songs and freestyles and, you know, piecing shit together from our bar videos and stuff like that, trying to figure out what am I going to do for the show. And I was just throwing on random YouTube beats. Initially, I was trying to find like another beat to put Victory Lap to, which is another like little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's my own song. It's basically just like a 3-minute verse with no hook or anything like that.
Yep.
But I'm trying to find beats to put that to structure it like a song so that I have more solo material for the show.
Okay.
And I ended up finding a beat for that, but in the process, I stumbled across this beat that just speaks to me, and I start writing to it. And so we had like 3 to 4 days before we were gonna leave for Seattle. I start writing to this beat. I get this song done, and I hit Moses up. He's like, yo, I don't know if I've got time, but I'll try to squeeze you in for like an hour or two. I go record this fucking thing like the day before we left for Seattle. And then me and Cody and Jake take off for Seattle. And I perform it there for the first time. And it's this song that I dropped today, finally, over a year later, called Do It For. And basically at that point in time, I was kind of do or die, sink or swim. Like, you have to go and do this show. You've committed to doing it, but you need to fill the time that you've been given, because I'm not going to drive all the way out to Seattle and pay for hotels and shit to do a 15-minute set. Like, I'm doing my full fucking set, even if I'm throwing on a beat and freestyling.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I can burn some time with out of the bag freestyles or whatever, but, you know, I got to do something. So I wrote this song, recorded it literally the day before we left, and practiced it the whole way in the car. I mean, it's dense lyrically. There's a lot going on in the song because of the way that I wrote it. I didn't really have time to kind of like find spots to let the lyrics breathe or whatever. I was just kind of writing, freestyling, writing at the same rate that I'm freestyling in my head, because I type my shit out and I can type fast. But yeah, so I didn't have much time to practice it. I got up on stage and did the shit, and it fucking went over super well. So I hit up Moses and we tightened up the mix or whatever. And then I've just kind of been sitting on it, not really knowing what to do with it. We had COVID and shit. I really only got to perform it a couple more times, once at that Bartlett farewell and another time when we did the gig for the Halloween thing with Bendy. But it's just kind of been sitting in the vault.
Talk about the farewell show.
The farewell show for the Bartlett, that was huge to me, man. I mean, you know, just as much as anyone, like, how much of what we have done we were able to really hone at the Bartlett, because hands down, more than anywhere else in the city, the sound in that venue was just incredible. It didn't have the biggest capacity, 150 people max, but it was real intimate. And when you packed that bitch and got the vibe going, and the music was on and your shit hit, and you could hear you rapping and the music and everything, it was fucking perfect, bro. Like, the vibe was just 100%. And hip-hop is such a hard thing to level correctly, because beats are always leveled at different volumes. Producers don't know what they're fucking doing. Sometimes you're just pulling shit off YouTube if you're not experienced. So when you go into most venues that I've had experience with, they don't know how to level hip-hop. You can try to schmooze the sound guy a little bit to get the levels right, but they're used to leveling, screamo rock shows and punk and all this other shit. That exactly. It's like, so you end up fucking, your message doesn't get across, because you're either trying to compensate by yelling and you're not able to rap at the tone that you wrote it in and rapped it in when you recorded the track. And so it becomes this issue of, I want to be able to do a show, but no one's going to fucking get what I'm trying to deliver to them here. The Bartlett really understood how to do that, and that's transitioned very well to Lucky You. I know we've gigged there a couple times, and their sound is always super on point, because they do it much in the same way, and have
they're musicians too.
Yeah, they've thought about the acoustics and how to like sound dampen and do all the right shit to make it work.
And it's funny going back to being a carpet cleaner. When I first started, Scotty Fighter, who was in the Bartlett, he was you guys ever hear of a band called Pine League? They were pretty big at the Bartlett and everything like that.
No, I don't think I've heard of this.
So he was like, I was big in the music scene back in high school days, like 2007 and on, when the Imperial was still around, and the Boulevard, and where the Grand Hotel is now, you know where that the Boulevard. We used to be right there, and all local shows, and like he said, screamo, punk, like that reminds me, Steel. He is a shredder. You don't know it by him. He's a dad and all this stuff. He plays in freaking bands like Chelsea, like they would sound like Chelsea's Grin or Carnifex or something like that.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Dude, and
That
Steel's
shit's crazy to
Steel's
me.
just, and he's
No fucking way.
He is a shredder, and nobody knows it because he's
The undercover shredder,
he's
bro.
the down the house. He's back, back in the
That's
house kid.
crazy.
But he used to play
Yeah,
all
he's
the
quiet.
shows.
He's quiet.
He really was a lot at the. It wasn't the Cretan Hop. It was the Hop. It was when
Yeah,
it was.
the Hop.
It was when it was over by the courthouse.
Over off Monroe, yeah.
The courthouse. And so that was one of the last shows that I went to because I used to be really big back in the scene because my homie Derek, before he passed away, was in the Rids and he played the Empyrean. So I was going to a lot of local shows at the Empyrean and just hardcore shows and everything in general. We'd have the pit, we'd throw down. You would just get this gathering and you would just know who was there. And when I went into the hospital and shit like that, and I came back and I went to the Hop, and a band called No Bragging Rights was playing. And there was a local show, and I used to run around with a couple kids, and they were in some bands and stuff like that. And I remember going back there, and my friend, Thad, he's like, these guys kind of remember you from back in the day. You used to run with fucking Salih and Gonder and all these other guys, and, and they know your way of dancing and stuff like that. So, just kind of watch out and all this stuff like that. Because when you go to a pit, especially when you're new, it's like you test people.
Yeah.
It's like you're like,
Do you belong here? We're
get
throw
out of
some
my
bows
way,
and shit,
and you're up at their mercy. There's some guys like you'll see the big dudes that are out there. They fucking stand straight, right out in the middle, and they're just like,
I've seen motherfuckers like that.
Get near me,
bro. That
'cause
used
I'm
to
gonna-
happen at the Hop
gonna be at the
all
train.
the time, bro.
Yep,
That
and-
shit's crazy. Yeah, people used to get bucked.
But
yeah,
it was a testament. It was a test.
To bring it back to the Bartlett, just around that time, there was just like a lot of feelings going into, like I said, going over to Seattle to do the show solo, and then saying farewell to the Bartlett, which was a huge part of my musical growth. I know you had done some shows with me there. I did that show the previous Christmas with Jake when you couldn't make it also. So there were a couple shows I had done myself there. So really kind of honing my craft and figure out what I do on stage when it's not in the context of everything we had done as a group.
Yeah.
So it really just like I had a lot of feelings around that. So I wrote this song kind of just, what is the reason? Like what's I'll be honest, man, I'm kind of a lazy fuck, dude. I sit at home and play video games. I work my office job that's work from home now. So I don't really get out or do a whole lot. I'm not like a super active guy. So when it comes to this stuff, it's like I've had somebody, kind of a driving force, or like the group shit that we did with Soundcast or whatever. I've had somebody at every step of the way kind of being the driving force that says, okay, we got to make music, we got to do this, we got to do that, so it's always been in the context of what am I doing in this group or this duo. There's somebody that's like, hey, you got to get your verse down, or hey, write a hook to this, or hey, do this, hey, do that. So when I had to actually sit down and be like, you motherfucker, you, the man in the mirror, not Exact Change, not Mods or Devi or Soundcast or any of these other motherfuckers or J5 or any of these people that you've always done music with for your whole life. Why are you doing this for you? You know what I'm saying? It's not just to like keep up with somebody else or doing it because you're homies.
So that
are
was the
doing it.
motivation to write the song.
Yeah, so the motivation behind the song Do It For is just kind of like myself personally taking an evaluation of like over all the years, what is it that's kept me coming back to this? Why do I do this? And so there was a lot of meaning behind it, especially in the time that I wrote it in, having to go and do these trials by fire of going to experience my first show out of state by myself. I had a couple people there with me supporting me, but I'm the artist. If there's nobody else to take the spotlight away from me, I have to go out there and perform for myself.
Yeah, you don't get a break.
You know what I'm saying? No one's there to cover my ad libs or anything like that. I've got to do it. Same with the Bartlett farewell show. It's like in those moments, I have to really evaluate why I am doing this, and am I doing this for me, or what is the reason I'm doing this for? So that's where the whole song
that's where the lyrics came from.
Yeah, that's where the whole song was born. And so it's like, for me, it's one of the pieces of music that's closest to my heart because it was really the first time that I'd had a chance in years to evaluate my reasons for doing the things that I do and trying to share that with people. So I'm currently kind of in the middle of doing this social media thing where I'm trying to encourage other people, because it's a pandemic, because we've had this chance to kind of see that normal life and shit that we do can be taken away from us at a moment's notice. So it's really important that we make every moment count. I know that's cliche or whatever, but it's like, I just encourage everybody to find something in their life that they're passionate about, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's terpenes, whatever the fuck it may be. Find something you're passionate about and do that shit as often as you can. So I've been using the hashtag do it for and just kind of encouraging people to say, you know, what is it that you're doing it for? What are you doing it for? You know, whatever
That's
it
cool.
is that you're doing. Yeah.
I like your
question.
questions.
That's the
and stuff.
question we all ask ourselves too.
Or we need to ask ourselves.
Exactly.
Because sometimes people just going through life and it's like, what are you doing it for?
COVID has
Time is
taken
limited,
so much
bro.
things from us.
And
like,
if anything,
We are so entitled
Like
to
the
time. We think time is
local
going to go on
music industry
forever.
in Spokane is
Shut
not
down,
even
bro.
a thing anymore.
People are literally
Big
like,
Dipper.
but I mean, just think of this. How many people are like, I'm going to live till I'm 90?
yeah, I got time, bro. I got time.
You're so cocky. Like, I'm going to live till I'm 90. It's like, dude, I just seen what you drank last week. You ain't fucking
Yeah,
living till you're
yeah,
90,
bro.
you psycho.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one more piece that I want to touch on with your music before I get back in with Jay-Z, because we only got a little bit of time left. But
Yeah, sure.
The picture, the art, was you rapping to your daughter?
So no, the picture that's the art from the single was from that show in Seattle that I went to, because that was the first time that I had performed it. I thought about using that picture because I did do another piece of art where I was rapping on stage to my daughter, and I used that for like an Inktober thing where I had to, I think the prompt was music or something.
Yeah.
So it's been part of kind of the promotion because I've been kind of leading up to this for a few months. But that's kind of my whole goal. Like today I posted a picture of myself on stage rapping 7 years ago with Rascass, who's one of my idols in hip hop. And when I think about back to that time, I think about how crucial it was in that moment to really perform and really show out. Like that's one of the reasons that I do it, is because right now we don't have the luxury of live shows, so I really miss that. And being able to go back to that time. So tomorrow I'm gonna post another picture of something that's a reason why I do it for. And I'm trying to do this for at least a week, where I'm posting something different every day to try to inspire people to be like, look, these are my reasons and my impetus for what has propelled me to do the things that I'm doing. What's propelling you in your life? We got to find these things right now because they're few and far between, because we can't go do them in real life. So the photo I used that I did the art for, I did the illustrations, is a photo of me on stage at the Central Saloon in Seattle getting ready to do this gig. That's my first gig I've ever done out of town. I'm nervous. I'm scared shitless. You can see it in my eyes when you look at the actual photo that I'm looking forward. Like there's no crowd in there yet, but I know that there's going to be a crowd in there. And I'm just like, I have to carry this. I have to own this moment and fucking do this shit.
Damn.
So it's crucial to me that I make something that was so like seminal in the creation of this whole thing, that I make that the face that you see when you're looking at the art.
Jesus.
I want you to be there in that moment with
so
me, man.
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
So what do you do it for?
So go listen to that shit. Do it for Spotify, all them places.
Thank you.
Go check it out. Of course,
Let's go back
bro.
to the more interesting man in the room.
God, that was captivating me.
I felt like nothing. Your words are very motivating, because that makes me think a lot about. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you
right now?
doing it for?
Find something you're passionate about and do it as often as you can.
What is the lyric? He says,
that's what
if you have yourself a talent, don't ever do it for free.
Yeah, don't ever ask, or you want to ask what I do it for. I do it for the bread and cheese, like I was making a sandwich, never taking advantage of these beautiful dreams. So if you got you a talent, don't ever do it for free. If you have a talent, if you are skilled at something, don't sell yourself short. Don't do shit for exposure. Don't just show out because they said people are going to be there. What am I getting from this? Doesn't have to necessarily be a check, but make sure that you are getting out what you're putting in.
Mm-hmm.
Well said that. The Joker reminds me of that, when they were like, if you're so, if Batman can be killed, why haven't you done it yet? He's like, if you're good at something, don't do it for free.
Don't do it for free, bro. That's amen.
Dude, that's great.
Amen to that.
God, man, all the Batman references are killer.
Dude, well, the last one, because he asked me, he's like, who's your favorite superhero? And I was like, Batman. And he's like, well, what's Batman's superpower? And I'm like, he's got unlimited money. He's not only he's one with the night. He's a ninja.
fucking
He can
Elon
lift
Musk.
over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. Dude, Batman Begins is badass.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites, dude. When it was
Batman
Liam
Begins.
Neeson?
yeah, Liam Neeson
That one was
and
good.
dude getting trained up and shit like that.
Climbing up out of the well and shit. And fucking.
What's up with this rig? This
Oh, you want
want
to try to fuck with this
I
thing?
do kind of want to fuck with this, actually.
Okay, so like I got a couple things. This thing's it's just cooler to fuck with, because it's on a. I mean, we could use this thing too.
So you can't buy this at a. You can't.
No, I put this thing together. This is
Motherfucker,
a
please. My
mod
shit is
battery.
custom.
Yeah, this is a mod battery with Target Mini Vapresso. This is the one because it holds 2 grams of oil up in this thing, which I don't ever fill it up. But
show me. What's
So-
up with this thing.
you just freaking pop it in there. So I don't have a 10 millimeter.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Can you see what I'm saying?
This man's smoking like George Jetson.
You get clouds from this thing,
Dude,
So
pass it
cloud,
on
man.
over here.
I also brought wedding cake from Infused.
Oh, you know I love wedding cake.
And then I got
come
this
on
is
Come on now.
Tesla Tower from.
That's a little sativa.
Tesla Tower.
From,
Shout out the boy Elon.
Is that Pearl?
No, not Pearl. Lazy Bee. But they could have got it from Pearl. Oh, I got a blade. We get up in this thing real quick. Boom. Done deal.
Boom.
See? God. A lot of people, dude,
Holy shit.
they only want to smoke it this way if they're smoking a vape pen. Because people are
shit fucking me up, bro.
worried about like heavy metals and stuff.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
they think that the water is
I think this is very heavy metal.
filtration.
Rock on, bro.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I love heavy metal.
Me too, dude.
Party on, Wayne.
What'd you guys listen to back in the day? Like rock. You
I was
guys,
a punk guy, bro. Some 41, fucking. all that shit, bro. Yeah, bro.
Some 41
Does
and
this
the
look
bl-
infected?
you-
Was my
so you like
shit
Blink
back in the day.
182
Yeah,
and you like
she
Boxcar
left me
Racer.
roses by the stairs.
Surprises. Let me know she cares.
dude. Tom DeLonge is the best
Yeah.
lyric. Like
Where are you?
He's the one who makes the songs because Mark Hoppus, he sucks.
Have you heard New Blink 182?
They had with the Alkaline Trio
Yeah.
lead singer.
Yeah, so, but yeah, like fucking
Tom DeLonge on that.
Offspring, Everclear.
Okay,
Eve
listen.
6.
That's
Okay,
ska.
listen, bro. Offspring was my favorite
fucking
band.
love
I don't know
Offspring, bro.
why, but they were just like, I used to just listen. So that's the shit that like linked me, right? That beginning album with like Pretty Fly for a White Guy and like all that shit. And that's what linked me.
Streets.
But then like the second album was fire. And then like the third album
So
was
fire, bro.
fire.
What about Sublime?
Oh,
of course.
Sublime.
That's
course.
the-
What about Stained?
Stained?
It's been a while.
Pearl Jam, man.
Oh,
Throw that up in
dude,
there.
Pearl Jam.
Fucking bro. No, I just remember like
Slipknot,
because
bros.
my high school thing, I took weights class because I wanted to
System
seem
of a
cool.
Down.
So in the weight room, it was all like fucking Godsmack and Disturbed.
Dude, there
and
you
go.
fucking
Yeah.
like oh wow, you know.
What's
that type of
dude,
shit.
you're
what's
working
the
out to
Scorpion
that.
song?
Papa Roach and
Which one's that?
I stand alone inside. Stand alone.
What was the fucking one? The I take on anyone.
Oh, that's
Back Off Trapped?
Yeah.
Dude, they're huge
Yeah.
Trump supporters now. They've been like banned from everything on
What?
social media because they've just said a bunch
What was
of
it?
racist
Back
shit.
off! I'll take you on.
Headstrong.
To take on anyone. Yeah,
I thought I was
Headstrong,
so
that's what
cool
it's
in the
called.
bus when I was a kid because I used to like they'd come on the radio and I'd be like, "Back off! I'll fuck your mom." And all the kids on the bus are like, "Oh, it's so fucking funny."
Oh my god.
Mike, were you class clown or what?
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the high school yearbook, class clown.
Really?
I got voted class clown.
What
Wow.
high school did you go to?
East Valley.
Okay.
I seriously have.
So, do you know who David Leap or Kyle Hunter is?
Oh, Kyle Hunter sounds super familiar, bro. But that's like I graduated 06, so it's like that's going back a ways.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, I was voted class clown, bro. I can't even remember what I did, bro. I was like campaigning in all my classes during the day, just like being loud and causing a fucking
Like,
scene.
bitch, I'm
being
gonna beat a class
vote
clown.
me
No
class
one's
clown.
gonna out
vote
class
me
clown.
class clown. Yeah.
Dude, I was voted not there. That's what I was
That's
fucking.
tight. Like, what were you in your high school yearbook? Not
Just-
pictured.
my picture was just like one of those blank fucking Instagram pictures, bro.
I'm the last person in the frickin' yearbook, dude. My last name.
Zinkgraf.
Zinkgraf,
The
bro.
last person in there.
See, that's dope.
But I was
though.
also in publications, so I made some of the yearbook, like the pictures
Oh,
in
you like
there,
journalism
and the
and shit?
captions. Yeah,
You made
well,
sure-
it was a good class, and
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Lieberg was the shit.
You made made sure you picked all
he
your
didn't
good
care when I
shots.
came in all stoned and shit. So
That's always nice.
yeah.
Dude, you guys went to school stoned. See,
Oh.
that's a tough
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man,
As soon as I got that weed in me, bro, I was like, I hate school.
The driver's ed teacher at our school would, when he would take you out on drives, you would like go pick up weed with.
Yo, so this is my thing, bro, is that when I was a kid, paranoia off the weed was real. So
Real,
it's like
real,
I
bro.
couldn't be at school
What was that noise?
around.
They know. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
They know I'm high, bro.
I'm like, dude, I smoked it. I know that nobody in here smells like weed, and I just smoked.
Tried his wedding cake.
I know that everybody
We
knows
would
I smell
smoke
like
before
weed.
school, and I didn't smoke cigarettes. I've never smoked cigarettes. My buddy would smoke these like big fucking Camel 99s, these so the Camel fatties or
Long-
whatever.
oh, the
Yeah, yeah,
fatties.
The fatties, bro.
Oh.
The thick
99s.
boys.
The line 99s were long, and the fatties were like these big, like
Yeah, okay. So no, he smoked the
chunkers. As a
fatties.
kid, I was in
Excuse
the
me. See,
Turkish
I don't smoke,
Royals.
so I don't
so it
know.
was Camel wides.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
what they
see
were.
the wides. Yes, I don't smoke, so I don't know. Or he'd have like the fucking Camel Crush with the little menthol thing. But
That
we
was
would
revolutionary.
we would smoke. I know it's technology. We would smoke weed before school, and then because I didn't smoke, he would smoke a cigarette in the parking lot, and he would blow the smoke onto my jacket so that I smelled like cigarettes, like a normal high school kid instead of weed. Because they wouldn't question the cigarettes.
Dude, I
They'd be
wish
like,
I
"We
would
know."
pay to just see that. Just hey, just hit me, bro.
Dude,
Just
because
get me right here.
you
Come
go
on, just
in
blow it on me.
and you'd wash your freaking hands and your mouth.
Dude, it didn't even matter what
That
we,
Marlboro
we
musk.
thought that it was all over our jackets, dog. It was all over your fucking
Yeah,
thumb,
your
jamming
thumb
it in the
is, like,
pipe
sticky
and shit, and you're just
yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Like your hands, if you had a joint or something, like that hand
all over
would
your
just.
stash, man. If you got a
Oh,
beard,
if you had a beard,
It's over.
bro. I went to school with some kids that look 30, dude, and I still can't grow a beard. So you know,
really?
yeah,
Fuck, man.
crazy, bro.
I've been working on something.
I used to do.
I
I used to
like
rock
that,
the
bro.
chin strap
Before
back in high
quarantine.
school, dude.
The skinny chin strap.
Like all the
Oh,
way around,
yeah.
dude. Just
That is better than a soul patch.
Yeah.
Better than a soul. If you
I had a-
rock
That's that 31st century
in like
Abe Lincoln.
2013 or something like that. I had a mustache too, something like that. I don't know why I grew a stash.
I didn't have a whole lot of facial hair back in high school. I was baby face, but I had like long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got like senior pictures of me in black and white on like a motorcycle with this long fucking slick back, fucking looking like goddamn fucking
That's
Fonzie and
funny.
shit. Yeah.
Yo, you got long hair. You cut your hair?
Yeah, but
That's
I'm trying
right.
to grow it back.
You have some long hair. You had that mane. And that's the
I
same with
know.
John too. John used to have fucking hair down to here,
Oh,
dude.
Really?
yeah, bro.
He used to have just the longest mane ever. Now he's this clean cut looking
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
But if you look at his fucking pictures on his Instagram, you go back a little bit, dude, and he's got
You got that
locks, bro. Like
Yeah.
a full mane. He looked like a total like hippie cat, dude.
super
Nia's
tan
got some
Jesus.
long hair,
Now,
too.
dude, he walked into the store today and somebody said, dude, why John walk in here looking like my dad? Because he just walked in with like a leather jacket, like some nice shoes
when
and
we
shit.
came to the house just the other day and John hopped out in jeans and like he had like a flannel on and like a trucker hat or some shit like that. I was getting back in the car with my girl. I said, look at the Pacific Northwest just
Rubbing off.
enveloping in John. Yeah, he's just giving up on trying to be like suave and shit. He's just blending in. Look at him.
That's right, bro. When you see that boy in some Birkenstocks and you know that shit's changed.
Dude,
Yeah, yeah,
Burks
yeah.
are what's up.
Burks are
I
what's
can't
up.
wait till I can friggin' just throw in the Burks and not even have to worry.
All right, boys. Well, we're right about there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get really to dive into these terps as much as
Well,
I
I
wish,
mean,
but we had a
dude.
great conversation, so I'm not tripping.
Terpenes, like, so scientists, like anybody who's like a science for cannabis, like hates cannabis names and all this shit like that. It's like they like the way you're gonna feel is dictated by the terpenes, and we call plants within type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 1 being high THC, type 2 being the middle of CBD to THC ratio, and then type 3 being high CBD. And what dictates the way your effects will happen is either what terpenes or essential oils that plant produces. And like I was telling you, terpenes are a natural defense of the plant. That's why you get allergic reactions and stuffy noses and stuff like that when you smoke, or like you're sneezing or something like that. It's because the smells are going up in your sinuses and you're like, your nose is like, what the hell? Because they're a natural defense.
It's just like pollen, or just like in the spring, something's fucking
shit,
with you
bro.
a little bit.
mean, yes.
My mind is fucking blown.
Pollen, I
in
think,
this
is
moment.
more for like creating new flowers.
But it could be
where
like a grass
terpenes
allergy
and
or
pheromones are probably the more accurate term
'Kay.
that like give off the scent Or like some plants, like that plant doesn't really put off smell. If it is a plant, I don't know if it's fake or if it's real or not, but it looks real. But it can change the way it tastes. So let's say like something starts eating it, all the rest of the leaves could freaking put out a chemical and just taste like shit. So that plant doesn't want to eat it anymore, or that whatever's eating it doesn't want to eat it anymore.
See, that's fucking cool, man. See, that's why plants are just
aliens,
they have they're aliens. That's what you said.
Yeah,
plants are aliens.
Aliens, man. They live.
That's crazy. I believe that.
Do that garlic thing. Jack only started those garlics because so you can just tear off the roots and stuff, like, because garlics, if you just set them there, you buy whole cloves, they'll just start growing.
Yeah.
They'll start growing like roots and stuff.
They get the green
just chilling there.
Popping out the middle. Yep. I've had that happen.
She just planted them. And they started.
So what do you do with this shit?
Dude, so it's going to grow into a garlic. Like I said, put it in a bigger thing so it has more for the roots to go around. And eventually, things going to get big, and you're going to have a little bulb down there. When you pull it out of the ground, it's going to be a little garlic clove.
What the hell?
Yeah. Plants are miracles.
Jack was like, Zach want one? And then I asked you the other night, and then she's like, don't forget to take Zach this plant.
Well, okay, so thank you to Jack right here officially on the air.
For the garlic bowl.
For the garlic bowl.
A free unlimited garlic, bro. You hacked the system.
Yeah, dude, they're like trees. They can
I
grow.
love garlic is so good for you too.
So, and you know how to make it the best for you? Dr. Ron Patrick says is you mince it up, you cut it up. Should be the first thing you cut up, and you leave it sitting on the cutting board for like 5-10 minutes. It's a chemical called allicin that's inside the cell walls, and the only way you can activate it is by cutting those cell walls and mincing them up. So it starts activating, and then it starts producing a lot of allicin, and apparently allicin is really good for us. So the more that the garlic sticks, the more nutrition it is for you.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so, dude, we're gonna have to fucking like, we're gonna have to like schedule another podcast.
Before I forget, because I wanted to, because the dude that I tell everybody to go learn from, Dr. Ethan Russo, because he taught me so much shit about cannabinoids and how they work with your body, different terpenoids, and because you know the spicy smell in weed, like from pepper, when you smell pepper, it's called caryophyllene or caryophyllene, and that is a cannabinoid as well as a terpene. So it's not only as it smells spicy and affects you that like mentally, but it also, you know, goes with your CB2 receptors. So he was saying that it is 10 times more effective than Suboxone at like somebody who's recovering from an opioid addiction or something like that. They're trying to take Suboxone to get off in rehab and stuff like that. You can just smoke weed. So 10 years ago, 2010 and 11, before my accident, I was a drug addict. I was addicted to Oxycontin. I was smoking them. Fucked up. I was a bad person that day. But like I said, I got into an accident, died, got another chance, different person now. But anyway, when I quit cold turkey, because my friend, because I was telling you his name's Kyle Hunter, I had to get rid of all those friends. He was like, dude, you need to do this. So got away. I started going cold turkey, but I started smoking weed again. And at the time, Mom, everybody was like, how are you just not going to rehab? And how you just like quit smoking pills and just stop it? Little did I know until later on when I would know that like cannabinoids actually affect you in a certain way. I was drinking too. That's why I got into an accident. But even so, smoking weed helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because that would help out with my withdrawals a lot.
That's insane, dude. And just to know that cannabis can help in so many ways.
If you're like, let's say, because the medical system is so effed up, man, that you will get drug tested for marijuana. If you take opiates and oxys or hydros, something for your medicine, like you're an old person and you need this, you can't smoke weed. Because if you fail your drug test, they'll take away your pills. So they literally won't even let you smoke weed. So like some people could literally have a lot of pain management and stuff like that just by smoking weed or eating it. Nonetheless, if you don't want to smoke it,
well, the government wants them on the medication. That's
big pharma, dude.
You know,
that's what's gonna happen when it gets legal, dude.
But the thing is that all this stuff is coming to light.
Yeah.
Everybody's being able to communicate on an open forum. Everybody gets to see the truth, and all that shit's dying. All that control, all that brainwashing, and the pill, like it's so apparent that everything's gonna start changing. Everything's gonna be more holistic with options.
The government wants weed legal. They're already like, let's do it. And it's gonna be states like Idaho who are gonna be like, We don't want weed.
Yeah.
But Idaho's okay. I mean, in my opinion, I think Idaho's crazy to look at all the tax money that Washington's made and be like, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, they're
Well, dude,
surrounded
they
by
have the
legal
lowest-
states.
Like worse, and I also think that it's messed up that if you live in Washington and you want to drive to Montana, which is another rec state, that you have to be stuck between. You know, there should be some type of safe passage
Through the pass.
through that little.
Like I-95. Like,
Yeah.
well, that'll
You know what I
that'll
mean?
probably be a thing, dude, because I don't know, because there's state troopers on I-95 and like the main like passes and stuff like that. It's just be smarter.
But the other thing too is
why
if you're
not?
not smoking weed in your car,
Yeah.
then nobody's ever gonna fucking
Yeah.
ask you anything.
Yep.
But
If you get pulled over, like they're not tripping unless you're
but
hot
in
boxing
Washington,
the car.
everybody smokes weed and drives. Like, I mean, it's illegal as fuck, but it's
You're taking a risk every time because
Yeah.
if a
Every time.
cop
I
here in
don't do it.
Washington pulls you over and he smells weed in your car, that could be
He's gonna
a
test it.
bad day for you.
Yeah, I don't
back
do
in
that.
the day, though, they didn't give a fuck.
There was
they were
no
like,
test.
You're high. Where's the weed? That's what we want to know. Where's the
They
weed?
didn't know how to
When it
test. There was
illegal-
no
I get-
nanograms and
That's fair.
whatever.
That's
And
fair.
who knows how
Numbers
accurate
are
that is
bullshit.
anyway.
They still had saliva tests and stuff back then.
But who knows how accurate it is? That's the
Numbers
thing.
are bullshit, bro.
I'm high every
But they
day.
can only test for activated THC at that time. So like
I'm
hours
fat,
later,
bro.
inside
Active
your
THC stays in me.
Well,
I know that.
that's if they test your blood.
Yeah.
If your blood, you'll test the
So
THC.
saliva's only like the last 24 hours?
I
or-
can't. I'm not gonna say that, but
But it's 3 days,
it
4
will.
days.
It would definitely not as long as it stores in your fat cells. Like
Because fat cells is what, 30 days max, or is
30
it
days.
average?
That's the average. Is what you would say.
Jesus.
30 days, and you should be pissing clean. But you could be doing so much more, like exercising, going to the sauna, drinking tons of water, pissing a bunch. That's gonna clear your system in a more natural way. Because if you're sweating it out, it's gonna be sweating through your pores. There's ways to do it, but just if you
Well-
have a drug test, don't do it.
Well, dude, let's let's
Yeah, I
continue
know,
this
I'm
later. And guys, you
I talk
know,
too much.
Honestly, let's just
That's
what it's
for, man.
No, you don't
Why
talk
we're
too
here.
much. We just gotta wrap it up. But legalize weed, 2021, 2022, 2023, and beyond.
Zach Change.
Jay-Z, dude, thanks for coming on, man. We're gonna fucking do it again. I think I'm just gonna get one. Honestly, before you even leave, we're gonna put it on the books again to come back, and
you
I have a
already
whole bunch
know
of other
that people
shit.
are gonna be like, Jay-Z, we love that guy.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Mike,
We gotta
thanks for
talk
coming,
about anime
man.
and shit too.
Dude,
man.
I love anime. And
Oh, well, we can
he
just
was
talk-
saying that earlier
That's my
he
area,
was
bro.
talking about UFC, and we were gonna talk about fighting and shit like that too.
We got a lot of shit.
There's so much, dude. So I'm gonna get you back on the schedule. We're gonna do this again, guys. Look forward to it. Jay-Z, Iyzlow Matisse.
Yay.
Go check Do It For
Thank
out on Spotify, all the platforms. Go check it out. I love
Yes,
you
sir.
guys. And let's go. Let's
Love
go
you, man.
kick it off these mics.
Hey, peace.
All right, guys. Peace.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
Pass it on over here.
Let's kill him.
Let's just fucking kill him, bro.
God.
Holy shit.
You tell people about that? Oh, wow. That shit fucking me up, bro.
This podcast was brought to you by Speak Spokane, a community-driven podcasting studio space where people from all walks of life can speak and be heard. Follow along with us on Instagram at Speak Spokane and visit speakpodcasting.com to learn more about starting your podcasting journey today.